How's it going, everyone? And welcome back to the Black Metal Rebellion. Today I'm going to be doing some more horror movie stuff. And this is 10 horror movies that you should definitely check out, or maybe even haven't seen yet. So I guess that would mean that you should check them out. So anyways, first up is from the After Dark Horror Fest series, the first wave. This is the Grave Dancers. This is pretty good. Basically, bunch of friends get drunk, go to a graveyard, and just fuck around and just piss off the spirits that are kind of living there, and then go back to their homes and think nothing of it, and they believe it's all cool. Well, they're wrong. Because shit just starts going awry. Some of the spirits just get, obviously, a little pissed off that they've been dancing around on their graves. Now they're coming after them, and each one is more and more creepy. There's different types of manifestations that, pop up during the movie and try to kill the main characters. And the ending is just insane. There's a pretty giant apparition at the end, and it's creepy as fuck. So yeah, if you're into supernatural kind of horror movies, definitely check this out. This is the Grave Dancers from the After Dark Horror Fest Wave 1. Second is another After Dark Horror Fest from Wave 1. This is Unrest. Basically just a kind of medical examiner trainee class with a bunch of kids kind of doing autopsies and examinations of corpses in the morgue. And one of the corpses that a group of kids are working on has an interesting backstory. The spirit, once again, is not at rest and comes after the team one by one, and the main character has to figure out why the hell it's doing that, and basically just save whatever's left of her team. But the story's pretty good. The kind of suspense is pretty good. Some of the scenes are pretty gross. There's definitely this one part in it you're like, oh my god, don't do it, and then it happens, and you're like, oh. So definitely worth checking out if you can find it. Unrest from the After Dark Horror Fest Wave 1. Number 3. This I was talking about in a previous horror movie video of mine. This is Grim Love. I don't remember what I called it in the other video, but it definitely wasn't this title. But yeah, Grim Love. This is based on the Cannibal of Rotenburg, Germany. I have a book also by it. Maybe I'll quickly stop this and show you too. Hold on. Alright, never mind. I can't seem to find it. It was supposed to be in one of my packing boxes, but fuck knows where that went. So, anyways, yeah, so basically this is about the Maneater or Cannibal of Rotenburg, Germany. And the narrator is some sort of journalist who kind of regales the viewer of the tale and goes on about how he sent out emails to find someone to eat and cannibalize, and just some of the things that happens in this is pretty crazy. Not as crazy as the book, mind you, but there's still some pretty cringe-worthy scenes, and I don't mean not in a bad way. You're just like, some of the stuff that happens, you're like, oh, like there's a part at the end where you're definitely gonna want to not eat anything while watching. So yeah, definitely check out Grim Love. It's by Fangoria, I believe. I think it's a Fangoria film. Let's check this out here. Does it even say on the inside? No. That's all it is on the inside. But yeah, check it out. It's pretty cool. It's not your typical kind of horror movie. It's based on actual events and stuff like that. So if that's kind of your thing, check that out. Next up is a movie that you probably have seen before, but I think it's really good. Some of the scenes remind me a bit of some like Saw traps and stuff like that. And I'm talking about The Collector and The Collection. Both very good movies. The Collector's probably, or wait, no, The Collector. Which one's the first damn one? Yeah, The Collector. The Collector is the first one. The Collection is the second one. Really good. It's got some brutal kills in it. It's got some torture scenes. It's got like quite a few fucked up things in it. If you're into like that kind of what they call torture porn horror movies, I don't really consider it torture porn. I don't really know why they kind of label it as such, but it's from the writers of Saw and stuff like that as well. So definitely check it out. Twisted Pictures, I believe, as well. If not, it's definitely from that kind of team. But yeah, gory kills and torture scenes, pretty decent story for what it is. So definitely check out The Collection and The Collector. Number 5 is an old trilogy that you might have seen, or maybe you haven't, and if not, you're definitely missing out, because I know I was missing out until I finally got around to getting these. Now I'm talking about the Cube series. Cube, Cube 2, HyperCube, and QZero, which is the prequel to all the stuff that goes on. Basically, these people are captured and dropped into a giant machine that has multiple rooms, all pretty much the same, with different lights going on and different doors going on. And depending on what room these people go to, they can be killed in numerous different ways. It's basically like a giant Rubik's Cube trap, and it's probably like pretty big. Like, I think at one point they said there's 74 rooms from one end of the cube to the next, and then like same from top to bottom. And there's only like one escape, and I think one person out of each one of these survives, and that's about it. But each one fucking gets murdered in a very interesting way. They have to figure out what all the numbers and stuff on it mean. It's pretty good. Even the first one, like, this is pretty early. This one was made, when the fuck was this one made? 1999? That can't be right. That's probably a re-release date, but maybe not. So what I'm seeing on the back of this is 1999, but even for how early this was made, it's excellent. Definitely check this out. This is the prequel to the wait. This is the sequel to the Cube movie. This is Cube 2, HyperCube. This is the first one I saw because I couldn't find Cube or the prequel, and it was still really good. The storyline matched up even if you didn't see the first one, so you could probably see this first and it wouldn't really matter so much, but the first one is still pretty sweet. Interesting kills for sure. The way they figure out how the rooms work is pretty interesting. There's weird parallel dimensions and like time traveling in this, which is so weird because it's like a close enclosed environment. You just have to see it to know what I'm talking about. And then finally, QZero, the prequel, basically focuses on the people kind of behind the cube. There's two engineer kind of guys watching the cameras and seeing these people go through the different events, and it kind of pans back between the people inside the cube and the people like operating the control panel behind it and talking to the government workers that's behind this or something. It's very interesting, and I definitely recommend watching these. Very good, kind of not your average horror movie, so definitely check these out for sure. Number 6, Frozen. Let it go. No. Fuck that. This Frozen, my friends, is fantastic. This is the Frozen that everyone should be hyped about, not that fucking Disney bullshit. If you've seen this, kudos. If not, basically a couple friends are out skiing and they're out fucking around in the mountains, and then they get up onto the trolley thing there, and it brings them out onto the wires, and they're just kind of waiting to get to the next hill to go down. And meanwhile, lights go down, the shift is over, they stayed too long, and now they're stuck up, 75 to 100 feet above the air in winter, slowly freezing to death. And now they got to figure out what the fuck to do, how they're going to get down, how they're going to get back. And yeah, it's not looking too good for these guys, let me tell you. Definitely check this out if you have not. I don't want to talk too much about it and spoil it for you if you haven't seen it. This is definitely something you should check out if you're into kind of suspense and trying to figure out what the fuck they're going to do and how they're going to get out of their situation. For a movie that focuses on people just hanging in the air on these little trolley things for half the movie, it still holds your attention, and you're still kind of like, what's going to happen next? Who's going to be an idiot? And who's actually going to do something smart? So, Frozen. The not lame Disney one. Check it out. Alright, what do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is a zombie movie like no other. This is called Dead Girl. I got recommended this by, I don't know, like a movie pilot or Horror Fiends or Hatchet to the Head or Arrow to the Head blog site. One of those like horror movie blog sites. They had a list of movies you should check out before, you kick the bucket yourself. And I'm like, well, cool. I like zombie movies, and I like kind of obscure movies that don't kind of fit in the cookie cutter, inside the box stuff. So I checked this out, and it was worth it. It's a little slow, but the story and the content really make up for it. I don't know if I want to spoil some of it, but basically, these two young, teenage boys are just doing their thing and stumble across this kind of storm drain or sewer system underneath a highway or something like that in their city. And they're walking around, fucking around, just dicking around and breaking shit and throwing things. And then eventually they stumble across this this woman behind this kind of like weird plastic sheety, seedy part of the friggin' underground. And then shit just starts getting really, really weird and gross and morally questionable, let's say. Double bag it. Double bagging it comes to mind when I think of this movie. And no to oral when it comes to this girl here. Definitely check this out. It'll be worth your time. It's like I said, it's a little slow at the beginning, but once you figure out what's going on and once you figure out all the other things that are happening in this, it's pretty gross. It gets pretty mind fuckery, and the ending is just, well, it's not a happy ending. So check out Dead Girl. Number 8, Grace. Love Undying. This was actually hard to find back before I actually used eBay and Amazon and all that kind of stuff. Had to kind of track it down from the dying Blockbusters and Video Kings and stuff like that. But I eventually finally got a copy of this used, and it's really good. It's more like a Stephen King tale than really a splatterfest kind of horror flick. But it's definitely worth watching, especially if you have a girlfriend who's willing to sit through horror movies. I don't know if I'd recommend watching this if your significant other is pregnant, because it's one of those movies that kind of like turn you off of babies and being pregnant and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, the lady in this, she's pregnant. She ends up having a baby, and she kind of loses it at the beginning of the movie. She has a water birth, and it's dead. It's born. It's stillborn. It's born dead. But then I don't know quite what happens. Somehow she ends up bleeding and like trying to feed the the dead baby at the same time, and it somehow the blood brings the baby back to life, and it just gets creepier and creepier as the movie continues on. And then she's trying to hide the fact that the baby's dead from a bunch of people, and just it's by the end of the movie you're like, holy shit. Okay, holy shit. Okay, but yeah, check it out. It's called Grace. I'm not sure what year this is from. 2000 something. I don't. 2009. But definitely check it out. It'll be something new, and it's kind of gross at the end. So if you're into gross, kind of creepy, what the fuck horror movies, check Grace out. Number 9. One of my friends, Takis Goregrinder, I believe, suggested me to check this one out. If it wasn't you, and it was someone else, I apologize. But I already knew about this movie, and it was really good. Even if you don't know about it, definitely check this out. This is called The Last Shift. The front cover is a lot creepier than what the movie is, I think, but at the same time, maybe not. I mean, The Last Shift is basically this ex-cop or security guard that's trying to look after a centered around a transitioning police station, but it kind of looks more like an asylum to me. But anyways, there's only 2 people on shift, the cop, security guard person, and like a janitor, I believe. And there's a bunch of like occult occurrences that happen. There's like hauntings throughout the movie. These like spirits and shit fuck with the female officer's head. She tries to search up the background on all these like fucked up satanic and evil creature things, and tries to figure out what occult happenings went on here. Some events happen and you're not too sure whether it's really happening or if it's just supernatural events, and just some really creepy parts for sure. So if you like that kind of stuff, definitely check out The Last Shift. The tag at the bottom there is All Hail the King of Hell, but I don't know. I don't think like Satan actually has to do with any of this. It's more or less just an occult followers and some suicides that happened, and then the shutdown police station is being haunted, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. And she calls out to like this dispatch and says, hey, there's shit going on, but they don't believe her. The line's being cut half the time in and out, and they can't really make out what's going on. She doesn't get any help. She just starts losing it. Yeah, really good stuff. Check out The Last Shift. And finally, the 10th one. You could probably still see this on Netflix. I don't know if you can see it in the States, but you can definitely see it in the Canadian Netflix. This is The Seasoning House. This just makes me very uneasy. And I like movies that do that. I like movies that kind of make me squeamish, make me sit on the edge of my seat, kind of go, oh my god. And this definitely did it. Basically, there's a kind of stranded house out in the middle of the woods, in the middle of like a war near Germany, I believe. And there's these young girls being held hostage and being used as sex slaves. And just, it's, oh man, it's very cringy. A lot of the shit that goes down to some of the workers in here is kind of gross. It's pretty hard to watch if you got like high empathy towards your fellow man, and you know, young women, young ladies. Just some of the things that happen to them is pretty gross and awful. But it's kind of like a I spit on your grave kind of deal. The main character eventually gets the revenge, and it's pretty sweet. But the ending, from what I can remember, is a little lukewarm and bittersweet. I don't remember if she gets away or not. Something telling me that I don't think she gets away, and it just kind of ends on a really shallow, not a shallow note, but a kind of like, oh, kind of depressing note. So if you're into sitting down and getting a little disturbed, getting a little squeamish, being a little suspenseful, and kind of not looking for something that has a really happy ending, this horror movie's for you. Check out The Seasoning House. So, anyways, my friends, I hope you saw something new, and hopefully you discover something really cool with these movies that I've shown off here. Really good horror stuff. I'll probably do another one or two more like this, horror movies that you haven't seen or need to check out. Yeah, definitely check out that list. And thanks for watching. Stay sick, my friends. Coming up next will be another Jesse Talks Metal episode about the underground. Good stuff. Anyways, see you next time. And if anyone gives you shit, tell them to fuck off.